All right, Taurus. Let's see what's going on for you guys. We're going into the second week of March. Situation from my beautiful Taurus. Let's see what's happening. Just looking to see if it was too many cards. It's fine. All right, Three of Pentacles and the Lovers was the first two cards. And when these first two cards came out, obviously I'm going to tell you it's third party situation. Now, that could be you and two people in your mind. Three, right? This could be a team at work. Three. It's like more than three. The Three of Pentacles just talks about you collaborating here with somebody. But with a lover, Gemini energy, by the way, it's pretty much saying, Taurus, that you still have this person very much relevant in your world. Now, you are mentally disengaging here from someone or something. You're like, I can't deal with the chaos. So what's interesting, the energies that are applying for you in March, it's kind of one of those things where you're leveling everything, right? You're leveling your old life, your old situation. And it's kind of you preparing your, let's just say your backyard, right? Your backyard, it's got whatever was going on in there, weeds, roses, it's a mixed bag, it's everything, right? You're leveling it all off. You're like, let me just clean everything to prepare for a new garden, a new path, a new life. So you're kind of in this weird gray area where you're like, you've made decisions about your past and your ex, and you kind of weren't really focusing on your future. But now you're kind of, and this is the part that I love the most, you're trying to stay present, right? You're trying to stay in this place. Well, why not just clear the deck so I can start moving forward with a fresh deck, right? You're moving forward slowly yet cautiously with the the Knight of Pentacles. You have two knights. You have the slowest and the fastest. Well, yeah. The Knight of Swords rushes in to communicate something, right? So although you have this energy where you're taking it day by day and you're just kind of like prepping yourself for what's to come, you are also going out there and communicating something with someone with this lover. And I think that's part of the plan, right? As I was talking about where you're kind of, I don't know, laying down the groundwork. It's what I feel. Bottom of the deck, I do see resistance, hesitation, using strength to persevere through something. A lot of you, a solid new beginning in a relationship's coming in, or a job. It will be a lot of work. It will be heavy, but it will also be rewarding. So let me see what's coming in here for Taurus, please. What's coming in? The Seven of Cups. You're pausing and reflecting, and you're thinking about who to invest your future within. Stay, go, even if it's just one person. Maybe it's even your job, but it's based on your feelings, based on your emotions, what's going to make you truly happy, right? And you're still holding back from something. Let me try to mix these up a bit. I want to see the surprise of the week. I'll take it. We'll leave it. The Empress. What's the surprise for this week for Taurus, please? Queen of Cups. Okay. Two of Cups and the Empress. There's somebody here where you do have full-blown feelings for. I could see you're in a partnership here with somebody, whether it's business or love. But I can also see that it's mutual. This is when people feel like they're soulmates. This is when people are in love with each other, regardless if they said it to one another. Okay? But you're thinking of your worth and your value right now, and you're saying to yourself, can I complete my life's mission with this person? Can I see the rest of my life with this person? Can I do whatever XYZ with this person? But I can tell you're in love with them or you have strong feelings for them because you're coming up as the Queen of Cups. However, there is somebody else in your life where you have unrequited love. Now, I don't know if that's the person that you've already committed to or if this is the direction it's heading into, but this is unrequited. No, no, thank you. Not for me. Not interested. I'm going to pine over my loss because my energy is here. I can't be here with this new thing. We'll see more what it's talking about. Let me see what the advice is, please. Interesting. This whole situation where you have this lover, Leo. Can't believe I said that, but maybe you're dealing with one. I don't take slight, like slip of the tongue situations lightly either. I always see those as signs. Anyway, Taurus, you are mentally disengaging from something that's chaotic with this lover, but this energy where it wasn't sitting with me well. I was like waiting to clarify it, but it kept haunting me these 2 nights. One, like I said, one is the slowest, one is the fastest. See this thing where you're taking something day by day. The time has arrived where you have to make those decisions. And so thus you're rushing in to talk to somebody or they're rushing in to talk to you. But this is what I mean, like you're just kind of leveling out everything right now. You're just kind of like flattening the playing field so you can actually see the players and the pawns to make the moves. But it's interesting because you have a lot of feelings tied into whatever your decision-making process is. Where normally, typically, you used to be the type of individual, and you probably are, but now it's flipping a little bit. Where you used to be stability, money, structure. Is this the right thing for me? You're now applying your feelings. Because, at end of day, it's a short life to live. Why not live it? And live it, fulfill it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to, I know you're thinking this, that one day on your deathbed, do you want to turn around and say to yourself, well, I built this empire and I built all these materialistic things and blah, blah, blah. And was I happy? I don't know. I'm not so sure. So now you have this other half of life that you have to live, that you could do that you could live fulfilled, that you could live happily, like actually live. Now, what is the advice here for Taurus? Now, mind you, a lot of you aren't feeling this quite yet. By the end of the year, full blown. It's just that March is the spark of those feelings. You've been feeling a sort of kind of way from last year into this year. But you've been like, you had trepidation. You felt guilt in the past for wanting more for yourself. You had like concerns, but now you're starting to see that's okay. It really is okay. Now, what's the advice here for Taurus, please? Judgment and the King of Swords. So maybe some of you are dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It does not have to be. This is just somebody in their head, right? Very cerebral thinking. They're fair. They're balanced. They're honest. They just don't scream the I love yous. They're not overly emotional. They just show love in different type of ways. Now, judgment is also there. You have to make a decision on this person. You have to make an enlightened judgment call on said person. This King of Swords with judgment. There are blocks, there are issues, there is fighting, there are arguments, but you're also curious about another person. Who's this fire person? Aries, Leo, Sag. Again, doesn't have to be a fire element. These elements, guys, could be heavy in their charts too. They just are represented by that element. And this person represents themselves as charming, passionate, fun, excited, attraction, creativity, right? Because I see a passionate new beginning that turns into a love new beginning that gets manifested between the two of you. And you definitely take that risk and start building into that relationship. I'm telling you, second week of March sparks the journey. So you kept getting world, end of paths, end of journeys, choices in 2025. And then towards the end of 2025, you were getting world cards. You were getting the wheel card. You were getting tower cards. All these major arcanas were coming to. That's the end. That's the end. That's the end. Until finally they're like, okay, finally we've arrived. Like, here's the beginning. Here's the beginning. What are we deciding? And things like that. But we also have Mercury in retrograde. So unfortunately, or actually, no, fortunately, yes, it does bring back exes. Yes, it does bring old thought processes or patterns that we used to do. Why? So we can look at it for ourselves and say, why do I repeat the same fucking patterns? Why do I date the same people? Why do I allow the same people into my life to be my friends? Why do I take the same shitty jobs? Why do I say it's okay when it's not okay? Why do I keep spending love on someone when they only love what I do for them? These are the things that you're going to start asking yourselves, Taurus, and you're going to be making decisions based on your own personal sovereignty moving forward. And March sparks this for you, and I love it. And I can see it in your cards between the Knights and, all these court cards you got going on, but mostly because you're thinking now where to invest in your future based on your feelings and emotions. Let's see what the outcome of the week is. Something is coming to an end and it's heartbreaking. But you don't care. You're staying focused. Regardless of the positive and the negative, you have decided to close the book on your past. That chapter is over. It seems to have been unrequited love. Some of you, yes, it ends in a divorce. Others of you, it ends with justice. You getting rewarded by something else. Look, justice is in the upright position. So no matter what, I want you guys to feel safe. All right? Because the decision is going to be fair and balanced for all parties involved. But more over to this Three of Swords, I think whatever it is that you're resisting or holding yourself back from, it's hurting you profoundly. And I think a lot of this has to do with Mercury retrograde. As is above is below. Those planets influence us, right? But they're supposed to, in positive ways, in the sense that when we look at repeated patterns or the people we used to date or why we keep doing this or why do we spiral, it forces us to look in, right? So we can heal those old wounds that we have in there. So let's see. Let's start continuing what's going on over here. What's going on here with this lover spirit? Why is Taurus turning their back on it and what's happening here? Some of you have decided to say goodbye to your, this lover and go back to whatever you had. But yeah, Three of Pentacles is clarified by the Three of Pentacles. So there's that. Doubling down on my message. You are potential. This was your wish fulfillment. This was your desire. You're going to have a heart-to-heart conversation with this person and you're deciding to leave the lover. A lot of you are. Most of you are. But I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what you do, it's going to U-turn right back to it. Either this person or another new beginning. Because I see you wanting to go have this heart-to-heart conversation and you do the Fool card. The Fool card is leaving. Regardless what's lined up. Like Alice in Wonderland. She's jumping down the hole. Does she know what's down there? No, she's just doing it anyway. And what does she do when she goes down there? She goes on an adventure. And she learns a buttload of stuff. Okay. One of my most favorite decks ever, only because of the symbolism involved with Alice in Wonderland. Oh my God. Could be the most interesting conversations we will ever have, guys. All right. What is the Seven of Cups? I can't even. Oh my God. Spirit's like, yes. Alice, yes. Jump down the hole. Go on an adventure. No, I'm kidding. First of all, Fool is Aries energy. Now, it's saying that you are definitely... I wonder if I close this, if it's better. Sorry, guys. Wondering if this light is too bright. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, that's... I don't know. Anyway, you're having a passionate new beginning, okay? And the Empress, which is also your card, Taurus energy. Taurus Aries right there. You're thinking about your worth and your value. I'm just looking at this card. To you, it seems like, okay, I know what I've done in the past. I know what I can do for my future. I know what my worth and my value is, so much so that I trust myself that no matter what, in my future, when I take this risk, I will find a passionate new beginning. All right? But right now, I need to think for myself, more than just think how I feel. But I need you to be careful, because closely right behind is the devil. All right? And the devil talks about obsession. And then when we get obsession, we get stuck. I don't know if anybody's ever saw Percy Jackson and the Tales of Percy Jackson, the kid of Poseidon, where one of the tales, these kids, like in modern times, we're not talking about the ancient times, they get stuck in a casino, and whatever they're pumping in the air of a casino, like through the air filtration, it gets them like semi-addicted, and they get stuck in the casino, and they don't even realize that like days are going by. They think it's only like 20 minutes, but it's been days that they're in there, because they've been so disillusioned by whatever they're pumping in the oxygen or the air of the casino that it keeps them stuck and addicted in there, because it just becomes like a feel-good obsession, right? That's what this devil is represented to me by. So as you're thinking about this, it's saying these are one of the energies you got to be careful of, all right? Because something could be very addictive. Something could be making you, your mind get stuck on a certain thought or feeling. And you don't want it to do that, especially with retrograde. Once it goes direct, by all means, start making those hardcore plans and move forward. Right now, during this retrograde period, the best thing you could do is just keep churning out what you've been doing. No major plans, no major decisions. Right? Just process and keep going and keep going and keep going. Whatever you've been developing, keep doing it. Now, let's see what's going on here with this Queen of Cups and the Empress again. And our Two of Cups, because that's a partnership. Yeah, I see. There's a lot of Aries energy here, by the way. There's air. There's a little bit of earth. Earth seems like over here. Air and seems here, and fire seems right there. But here's the Emperor. Can I show you something crazy cool? You know how I told you got the Two of Cups, and that's your partnership, Taurus? How much do you love the Emperor and the Empress? Because I'm obsessed with this. Why? Because not only does it represent a power couple, it represents more than that. These are major arcanas. See, it's mutual decision. It's a mutual feeling. When it comes to Empress, you know how I'm always talking about, you know your worth, you know your value, because kings and queens report to the Empress. It's the same for an Emperor. Now, when you are an Empress or an Emperor, it's lonely at the top. There isn't a lot of energies to match you. What am I talking about? In the cards in Tarot, there are 4 kings. Yes, there are 4 queens. Yes, there are 4 knights and there are 4 pages. But there is one Empress and there is one Emperor. And those 2 energies, the only other person that can match at the same level are those 2. Otherwise, you got to find a king and a queen to level up to an Emperor and Empress. So it's hard. It's hard when your mind and your soul and your spirit is over here, elevated, high frequency, high vibes, and you can't get the other person to match. In this case, it does. You're on the same level. You're speaking same language. You're vibing at same frequency. You want maximum growth. You understand severe challenge, that as long as you go through it together, you will have that maximum growth. That is Emperor and Empress, along with the Two of Cups. You feel mutually. And you are in love with this idea. In love with what, and this is in the middle of the week. So some of you, it has not come yet. It's coming. Okay, it's definitely coming. And you know, for those of you who are dealing with Aries, it just hit their sign yesterday. So they're all about it. Others of you, yeah. Those of you dealing with an air sign, same frequencies, because the opposite is Libra of Aries, and that energy is expanding to all the air signs as well because they're sister signs. Now, you're super curious to see how far this can go. Now, I don't know if you're texting this person and then along comes this big explosion with someone, but front and center is your fire sign person, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, you feeling stuck here, but ain't no way the universe is going to leave you behind. Okay? Now, again, we are in retrograde season, so I don't know why this is happening for you. Maybe some of you are here. I know for a lot of you, it's meant for the people that you've been developing something in love to solidify. That thing that you've had for 20 odd years that's been like creaky cracky, it's meant to kind of go away, but you're meant to look at it and see the differences between what you had versus what you're getting now, because it's very, very different. What is the advice here from Judgment and the King of Swords, please? Everyone's getting a massive reading this week, like huge. I can't even do like a 10-15 minute reading with anyone. Really big energies this week. What is Judgment and the King of Swords, please? The time is now, guys. The thing that I don't know if some of you are breaking up with somebody and this is heartbreaking, because I see it here too. The Three of Swords, and the Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, retrogrades are weird. Five of Cups is telling me the guilt, the regret, the loss, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. That thing that's meant for you won't pass you by, Taurus. All right, you need to look forward. Alice is trying to, reach something that's out of reach because it's no longer suited for her. Because, I don't know, she ate something and she shrunk her ass. And maybe it was important. See, what you don't know in Alice in Wonderland is when she shrunk herself so she can go through a specific door, leaving behind her normal state, who she was, how she was. And, the fact that this was out of her control or, out of her reach was always meant to be. Okay, now this is in your advice position. See, and the funny thing is when she stops trying to get up there and grab something that's no longer for her, she's going to realize she has two full cups down here that she can work with. This is what they're talking about with another person or some person that you need to make a decision on, a judgment call. Let's see what your outcome is talking about, because I think it's a breakup and it's heartbreaking. Now, mind you, Taurus, not just you, the whole collective, like whoever you guys are dealing with, everyone's going to be doing some funky, stupid shit during this retrograde period. And a lot of it, they will have regrets for doing. So bear that in mind. Like, even when you're just texting somebody, there's going to be miscommunication. There's going to be misunderstandings and malfunctions in tech, like I've been having. But as long as you're aware of it and you let this like slide, I think you guys will be fine. Four of Swords, you have not healed. You have, like, at points you do, and then other points you kind of, it's like taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of vibe. So you haven't fully healed. You're challenged to heal yourself. That inner child, that inner wound, right? Because there's a solid new start that's trying to come through. It's trying to break through for you. I don't know. There's something here where you're like, I also feel for you, Taurus. It's enough. You've learned your lesson. Something has peaked. You're done. You got bored, it stagnated, it wasn't growing, it wasn't elevating. It wasn't going anywhere. Now, of course, that's a relationship, a marriage, a commitment, or even your careers. Now, what am I talking about in the extended for those here for love? Spirit, let's try something different. Show me the person that Taurus is thinking about. Okay. And then give me one that they need to hear from you, Spirit, for Taurus. And these, we'll deep dive on these messages. And then we go into your person. I was going to say, if nothing came out, I wasn't going to push it. Yeah, okay. Separation and stay optimistic about your love life. This is messages from Spirit. This is about your person that you're thinking about. Give your relationship a chance. This is separation and stay optimistic about your love life. And this on the bottom of the deck is saying free yourself. Every time I see this card, it's always telling me that you were in a situation before, Taurus, where you were this gorgeous unicorn and you were trapped and stuck and no one could see you and you weren't putting yourself out there to the beautiful world that could have, or needed your energy. Those of you who are health and wealth inclined, let's get some advice, get a tip for angels of abundance for Taurus, please. I gotta pull one of these for myself. Visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is exactly what you will experience. It's about pivoting your mind and your mindset. And when you think this way, you will see everything this way. It's not a trick. It's just, yes, if you see yourself as abundant and healthy, you will see and feel all the positivity that comes with it. And all the resources too. It'll be shocking how you will see, like, wow, how come I didn't see that opportunity before? It's a mindset. All right, guys, this is what I have for you this week. I hope this helped. Everyone else, I'll see you over at the extended.